So, hello and welcome to a Mind Over Body podcast for another edition. This week we have myself, we have Mark, and Jim. Jim is back. He's here. He's actually woke up this week. But yeah, here for another edition. We're just going to jump right into it, so I don't talk dribble. So. But yeah, Jim, we will start with you because obviously you weren't here.
Why you started with him last week?
He wasn't here. He couldn't wake up. But yeah, Jim, how are you doing? What's your week been like? Or what's the last 2 weeks been like? What's been going on?
Yeah, just keeping busy as always. Nothing massive's happened other than last Saturday we had our first training day. We're a couple of the wounded Highlanders, so I think we had 6 or 7 of us attend. It went well. Some nice training. Finally getting to use that we've bought. And obviously not actually have a catch-up with a few of them, obviously socially distanced, but it's still nice to see people in the flesh and see how they're getting on, how lockdown treating them. Other than that, usual bullshit. There you go, I said it to Mark. The usual lockdown crap, you know. It's getting up on a morning, homeschooling, feeding the kids, going to bed on the night.
Yeah.
We have
Rinse and repeat.
we have had a national media sort of release for Highlanders, which has been Scotland. Hopefully, more of the media will pick up on it. And I've also had literally about 25 minutes ago from a northern reporter wants to speak to us on Friday and say what with that. So moving forward slowly.
That's what we want. That's what we want. Sounding good, man.
Yeah.
Hey, what can we say? He's back. He's back, Mark. He woke up. You want to sing actually, Jim? You want to sing? I've had a haircut. I've had a trim. Yeah. You can actually see my ears.
Like Prince of Bel-Air.
You can actually see my ears. I brushed it today, but you know, halfway there. But yeah, Mark, same goes to you. What's been going on this week? Anything to report? What's new?
Well, I made some changes to my deadlift strap. Put a little bit of a brake on, stop the strap that goes around my body from loosening up. And I told everyone last week that I was going to do 200, and I did. Went up very easy, a little bit off balance. I think I wrapped it round, or did wrap it round the bar as many times as I should have. So as I lifted it up, it was my arm. It went up straight up, and my arm had to sort of level it off.
Yeah, count the bar.
From that, there's still a few slight changes I need to make, but next week there'll be more weight. Simple.
That's what we like. I saw it on Instagram. To be fair, I saw it. Look, it got some response there.
Oh yeah. Well, I started at 130 to warm up. Then see what people don't see is I do reps in between. So the more the reps come down, as in heavier the weight. So then I went 130, 160, 190. The 190 was way too easy, so I put 200. That went up, but I've not reached my peak yet, sort of thing. I just don't want that strap snapping when I've got near enough 200 kilo on it. Because if that snaps, it's either going to pull my arm again, or it's going to twist my back, and I don't really want either of them to happen. So I just need to have the confidence in the strap. So I'm going to go up steadily. So I'm looking by the start of next week on Monday, I want to be deadlifting about 230. 230, about 500 kilo. 500 pounds, sorry.
I'm going to say 500.
No, it's got 500
Steady on,
kilos.
lad. Steady on.
Yeah. But
No, come on.
Start sucking peaches.
No, I don't. No, I don't. But yeah, apart from that, it's been one of them weeks where I've just concentrated on training, try clearing my head as best I can, and helping clients as best I can, because it's a bit useless at the minute when I'm in the wrong mindset to do it. So apart from that, though, on a positive note, the deadlifting is helping, and now I'm back. I've been privileged to be in a gym before everyone, so the leg press is coming back today. I'm going to see what I can. I'm going to put 500 on the bar, on the machine, and see if I can. See if I can lift. I should be able to lift. I shouldn't have lost that much strength.
I've seen
you
do it.
Again, next week it will be 6, and then hopefully the week after it will be 7.
Yeah, I've seen you do.
What I will add is, if anybody hasn't already seen the 200, we've also put a video together of his lifts beforehand and the 200, and we've actually uploaded them onto the Highlanders YouTube page along with the 200 on his Instagram and his social media. But we've actually put all of the lifts together and put them over onto YouTube. So
I saw that as well. It's good little. It shows the progression sort of thing, like you were saying, Mark.
The progression to me is not the weight. The progression to me is not the weight. The progression to me is making sure I can do the weight safely.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So if I put the strap on and I have I don't really have doubt in my ability. It's because I'm using something foreign. Yeah. So because I've got no control over that strap really. That once it snaps, it's going to snap. So I'm finding little things, not wrong, but not right, and I'm making them right, if that makes sense. So like I've got a hook now which hooks it tight round my body. I've actually got proper strap pull marks all the way around my back. That's how tight it
like
was.
bungee wire.
Yeah, pretty much. I might get a thicker strap, but at the minute it's doing its job. So next week I'm just gonna ease it up to 230. You never know. You know what I'm like. I might just put 250 on the bar. I don't know yet. It depends.
Depends on your moves.
It depends how many people irritate me.
Fair.
So if I wind you up, you're down for 260.
Yeah, but the thing is, you need instructions to wind me up, so you can't really do it properly.
Well, no, I've got 2 words.
What?
Ratchet straps.
He's still coming back. He's still coming back.
That's pathetic. So it's not going to make me angry, is it?
Does it work?
Maybe walk in and give me a slap before I do it. Maybe. But because I can't really do nothing. When I'm attached to the bar this end and my hand's attached to the bar on that end, and you slap me, I can't really do nothing, can I? So, do you know what I mean?
That's the best time to do it.
Exactly. I'm going to bite your jaw off. Bad me.
Well, we've all heard the good news. The gyms are reopening. I cannot wait, to be fair. Cannot wait. I know, Mark, look at Mark's face. What about you, Jim? How do you feel about the gym?
Let me just stop right there 1 second.
Okay, go on.
The new rules coming out. Everyone's got to wear a mask everywhere. Yeah? So you got to wear a mask in the shopping centre. You got to wear a mask at the hairdressers. You got to wear a mask at the barbers. You got to wear a mask walking around the town centre. But you don't have to wear a mask in a pub. I won't be wearing a mask. I've not been to a pub. Right? The new rules. Apparently, you've got to wear a mask now in the gym. Apparently. I'm not sure 100%, but apparently you've got to wear a mask in the gym.
I haven't actually heard anything about masks in the gym. Yes.
Well, what I've seen on that is that...
No, exactly. Yeah, I get that. I get why, because it's like it's one of them. There's loads of memes coming out at the moment, which, to be fair, make a heck of a lot of sense.
Right, listen, I'm not going to be wearing a mask. I have kept myself isolated. I have made people safe who have met outside my little bubble, right? I don't need to wear a mask. However, if you've been to a pub, or you've been in around people, or you've been to a riot, or you've been in a mass amount of people, guess what? Wear a mask. Shouldn't have to be made to wear a mask.
But some of the footage that I've seen from Loughborough, where let's say the world-class athletes are training, what I've seen is it's the coaches that wear the masks and the athletes don't.
It's the same. It's the same with every sport. Every sport
I've got really sensitive ears, right? Really sensitive, as in like I'm going to be a snowflake sensitive ears. That's how bad my ears are. So I can't put nothing on them. So I'm not wearing a mask.
It's like,
and if people make me wear a mask, I'm just going to moan. I'm like uproar, like all the little snowflakes do. I am not being told what to do when the rules make no sense.
Yeah.
If you're going to wear a mask, if you're going to put masks on, standard, like mandatory everywhere, then put them in pubs. Simple. How can I can't even go to get my beard cut without wearing a mask. But I can go into a pub and not having to wear one, which is you more chance of giving your best mate a snog when you've had a few. Do you know what I mean? You're not going to do that in the barbers. You're not going to do that in the gym. No one comes near me when I'm training in the gym. I don't want to talk to no one. Training people is different.
Yeah.
So, if anything, I'm isolated in the gym. But it doesn't make no sense. If you want people to start wearing masks should be worn in confined spaces, regardless of what that confined space is. Simple.
Yeah. Yeah.
And say
it needs to be uniform.
What?
It needs to be uniform, to be fair.
Well, no, whoever is making these rules, right, really doesn't need to look at them and go, does that make sense? Because I'm telling you, it doesn't.
No,
you can't. That Mark's not wearing a mask.
I'm not wearing a mask. I'm not. I wore a mask from the start when it was height.
Stop.
Didn't wear one then.
The bear.
So I'm not going to wear one now.
Talking the bear.
I am, yeah. Because it makes no sense. People are getting scared into wearing a mask.
Do you know when you said? Do you know when you said earlier? How do you annoy Mark? You just mention masks.
No.
And he'll get 300 up. He'll get 300 up.
But no, don't. I'm not wearing a mask. I haven't worn a mask from day one. I've started this, so I'm not going to wear one now.
Fair.
And if people refuse to do me shopping, I'll go online. Simple.
It's all going that way anyway, to be fair.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
But yeah, anyway, gyms are reopening, whether maskless or not. Let's leave that there, Mark. I can see you're itching. You are itching. But for people that are going to be coming out of the house probably for the first time, going down to the gym, what tips would you give them to ease themselves back in to the routine? You know
exactly.
What I mean?
Don't think you can lift or do what you did before lockdown, because if you do, you might be able to, but you'll feel it for the next week, and that'll put you off. That'll put on a negative mindset to go back to the gym. However, deloading your weight by about 20% won't harm. Make sure you go through all the techniques proper, do them slower. If you feel like you've done enough, take that as a hint. You've done enough. I wouldn't go flying straight into doing what you were doing, like, because you're just going to get injured, or you'll get better DOMs where your body will make you look like a ball for the next couple of days. So it's entirely workable to you whether you take my advice, but ease into it for about a week or two, and then try and hit it as hard, or not as hard, but as clever. Instead of training easy, you're training clever. Finding your muscles, depending on what you're training for. It really does depend on what you're training for.
Yeah.
I'd personally say if you're going to start going back to the gym now after doing nothing for the whole of lockdown, just go back to the gym as if it's day one. You'll quickly realize what level you're at.
Yeah, pretty much day one. That's the sort of level of intensity that you want to be doing. Day one, start again. It's all new, and don't compare to yourself to what you used to do before lockdown, because that'll irritate you. That'll put you in a wrong mindset. Do you know what I mean?
It's been over 3 months, hasn't it? So you know.
Exactly. So when you start back in the gym, it's day one, and what you can do from that day is what you can do.
Yeah, it'll be 4 months, won't it? It'll be near enough 4 months to the day.
Yeah.
I'll be starting my training camp come Monday, and that'll be a 6-week training camp, but that's done at home. It'll not be in a gym. It'll be at home, local athletics track and field, and much. Like last Saturday, us were throwing the 42-pound weight for height. I'll be pretty much putting that straight back down to the 28-pounder.
Yeah.
Just so I can, even though I know I was only throwing the 42-pounder last Saturday, I know I can throw it. I know how my grip is. I know how that feels, and I also know how my body feels the next day. Yeah. I will be straight back to the 28-pounder, working technique, actually throwing the implements.
And that is the best way. If you try and just do it off brute strength, you're gonna injure yourself. So it's literally
go
lighter, work the movement, work the technique. Don't train with ego, and you'll soon get the foot. Well, we were both throwing it over the bar, so it don't really matter. Do you know what I mean? It depends on what you're doing. Like I'll help you with the exercises that I train for weight for height, and it literally is just it's a power lift pretty much from the floor to the top without letting go, and that's it. And I'll probably do that with about 50 or 60 kilos. So it's getting that movement, and then the more you get that movement, then the muscle and then the strength comes after.
It's muscle memory.
I'll be throwing the implements. I'll be dropping the weight on them. Probably by 50%. I'll not be going for distance and height, but then on my days when I'm not throwing is when I'll gradually build up the weights that I'll be using for the squat and things like that.
Technique lightweight. However, I would suggest you throw a heavier weight, not a ridiculous amount of throws. Or so say you're doing the weight for distance or the hammer. It's the rotation with the weight. So you can get you can control the rotation with a heavier weight. Your technique's going to get a lot more refined on a lighter weight or the actual weight. So there's loads of ways of doing it. There's loads of ways to go about it. And if you train heavier and you throw lighter, you're going to throw further. And that's the simple science of it. And doing assisted exercises on that body part. So his hammer's pretty different. Hammers are pretty much all round body discipline, because you got to use your legs to clamp, you got to use your stance, then you got to use your hips for gaining momentum and starting the power, then you're using the core for the twist, then you're using your massive amount of you're using all your back, then your shoulders, and using your chest on after the spin. So it's adapting all these little tweaks and little. So if you find it, you've got less control over the bar and the way it goes round the front here, then it's your chest. Then it's your back and shoulders that you want to work on. If you find that it's getting that control on the way up, then it's your chest and shoulders you need to work on. So it's pretty much a massive hammer's probably the wrong one I should have chosen, because the hammer pretty much is an all body exercise. But there's loads of assisted exercises you can do for hammer. But with them all being throwing events, a lot of the assisted exercises that you do will only benefit you in the hammer, weight for distance, weight for height, shot put. So it's basically just a push day in a way.
Yeah. Well, there's 3 areas personally over the next 6 weeks that I'll be wanting to work on. It'll be the upper legs, it'll be the shoulders and back, the core. The core is the main one for me. I need
Cool. You're not going to argue that fact with you, mate. The reason why I think I'm so strong is because the amount of core work I do.
It's
core stability and core strength.
Lose weight, move it. If you get what I mean.
Exactly. Instead of losing weight, move it. Your body can't do both at the same time. You can't build muscle and lose fat. It's either one or the other. So
yeah.
You're gonna build muscle and you probably will burn fat, a little bit of fat at that time, but it's not to the point where I said to you, right, we're going to go on a weight loss program. It's not the point of that.
Yeah, you're not cutting fat. You're not cutting, it's like a side effect sort of thing.
Yeah. Because you're being active, so you're going to lose weight. Simple.
Yeah. It's like me. For me, when I get back into a gym, cannot wait. I'm counting down the days, you know. But my goal is literally cut fat. So for me, it'll be like high intensity fat burn and stuff like that. It'll be still using the dumbbells, using.
So then it's a lighter dumbbell.
Yeah, it's a light. It's a light.
So the way I would tell you to train for that sort of intensity is pick 6 exercises, do 15 to 20 reps on each, but you don't stop. So you finish one exercise, straight onto the next, straight onto the next, straight onto the next, straight onto the next, because you'll find that way.
Low weight, high
intensity. You're walking on an incline.
Yeah. Low weight, high intensity.
Yeah. That's the best way to go.
We'll get there. But yeah, on the flip side, so for the people that are wanting to go back to the gym, but because it's been so long, they've lost that mindset. They've lost the mindset of let's get up and go, let's smash it. You know what I mean? What would you say to them? We'll start with gym this time. Actually. People in your field, obviously, it's athletics and things, but so, the mindset's still there.
For me personally, obviously, my goals have changed during lockdown. The momentum's changed. Obviously, during lockdown means there's no, which means I don't need to take pretty much. So my training can still consist of. I prefer outdoor training. I don't prefer being up in a gym. Yeah, don't get us wrong. In a gym, all the machines, all the technology, the exact muscles you want and stuff like that. But I prefer the sort of the rough side of it. If you're in your garden doing it, you're in your garden. If you're on the athletics track, if you're on the field, you adapt. I adapt. I've got to train with.
Yeah.
Where I find me again, this is my personal view, that if I go into a gym, all this world-class training equipment, it bores us. But other people, again, I would say, hopefully during the 4-month lockdown, their long-term goals and short targets shouldn't really have changed. All they've done been delayed.
Yeah.
So don't wake up. Don't go to bed Sunday night and think I'm going to the gym in the morning, because you'll not. Tell you, start now. Start planning now for a week ahead. Plan.
Yeah.
Start planning a week before your first gym session. So you're giving yourself that week to adjust, realize that you're actually going to go to the gym. Maybe it's the day before you need a full day of making sure you've got enough liquids in you, ready to go up. That is a big one. People forget on that they'll not. For instance, have the protein ready, have the pre-workouts ready, have the bottles of water ready, that sort of stuff, which when it comes to getting up on that gym and they say, oh, I haven't meal prepped, I haven't sorted my pre-workout, I haven't sorted my bottles of water out, they'll just say, oh, well, I'm not bothered, I'll start tomorrow.
Yeah, and then tomorrow never comes.
Exactly. Plan early and give yourself enough time mentally get ready for it.
Yeah.
Where
it's been 4 months. It's been 4 months, hasn't it? So it's one of them. It's like That's it. Like we said earlier. It's as if it's day one again.
Exactly.
Well, it is. It is day one again. Now, it is good to set yourself small goals. So, if you're used to meal prepping and you've not been doing it, start meal prepping. Start putting little goals in to get in the gym if that's what you want to do. You might convert it. I've got a client now that doesn't want to go back to the gym because the training that he's doing at home feels a lot better than what he would do in the gym. So it's just opened up people's eyes. Some people are really itching to get back to the gym, and they're the ones that are really going to feel it if you go back and smash it. So you really need to be careful with doing that. But it's if you set a goal to lift, I don't know, by the end of the first month of the gym being open, you're lifting the same weight or whatever that you were doing just before lockdown. That's a good goal to have. Is it realistic? It depends on the person. Okay, so it does. It depends what they've been doing in lockdown, and it does depend on the person's mentalities when it comes to fitness and goals. So yeah, it is important that you do it slowly and you plan going back instead of just rushing into it and hooking all the dumbbells and all the benches and making yourself look like you haven't seen yourself in a month or 4 months or whatever it is. So yeah, just set little goals to get yourself back in. Prior planning prevents piss poor performance. That's all good stuff. So do it. I do it now. Do you know what I mean? So and that it's getting back into the old routine. Like I said last week, you've got to change your habit. Your habit now is being in lockdown. That's your habit overall. What you get up in the day, what you do in the day, and when you go back to bed, go to sleep, that's your habit. Going back to the gym is a new habit. You've got to change and adapt your life to that habit, and that's it.
Yeah,
it's your body tell you where you're at, not letting your ego where you should be.
No, never. I tell everyone, never train with an ego. Ego just gets injuries.
Yeah. How, like you mentioned goals and stuff. How important would you say the goals are?
Goals are what drive you to the gym. Goals are what people get successful for. Goals are something to aim for and focus on. If you haven't got a goal, what are you doing it for?
Yeah.
So a perfect example is this. When I did the Ironman, the goal was the Ironman. Get it done. Every day train, every day, every week, hours and hours of training. Done the Ironman, walked into the gym and gone,
what do I do now?
Today? I've done it. What do I do? So you've got to get goals. You've got to set them. Whether that's in the gym, it doesn't have to be in the gym goals. It could be having a healthier life for your family. Yeah, that's a massive goal. It doesn't necessarily have to be, I'm going to lift 300 kilo, or I'm going to bench press 100 and all that sort of stuff. It doesn't have to be. They're small goals, actually. They're really small. They're small ones to get you to the main one. Your main goal should be something like, if you're going to lose weight, I want to lose 2 stone, or however, or a stone. That's your goal. Okay, to get to that point. When you get to that point, pick another goal. You should never. Your goal should be big enough that you never get to, but the small goals you do. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And if you do get to your big goal, well done you. But you've got to have failed before you got there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So these small goals that you set yourself have got to be more important to you to get you to your end goal. That's what it is. That's your end goal. Your end goal is where all these little goals come together, and that's where you're going to get to.
Yeah. And don't be afraid to fail.
No, failure is built from. Success is built on failure.
Yeah, Jim, what were you saying? Sorry, I
was just saying that your goals and your targets got to be realistic. Plain and simple, they've got to be realistic. Otherwise, you will
not
fail.
really. Not really.
You will fail, but you don't want to be constantly failing, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
You know, when I say I want the goals to be a little bit unrealistic, is say for instance, I'm going to deadlift 400 kilo. That's a little bit unrealistic for me. All right, just for the sheer fact of the strap won't last 400 kilo. Okay. However, if I'm setting these little goals each week for me to get to that goal, if I get there, I get there. If I don't, I don't.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
As long as I hit all these little goals on the way, then I'm good.
Your end goal is a different matter. I'm talking about the targets you set to get that one.
Oh yeah, they've got to be realistic. They've got to be measurable. They've got to be accountable. They've got to be realistic. So it's unsustainable as well. That's what's a massive thing. So you're going to pick a goal, and if you turn around and say you want to lose a stone in 2 weeks, guess what? That ain't going to happen. Do you know what I mean? That's not going to happen. As much as you would want it to, as much as how hard you work, unless you did something drastic, yeah, something that's unhealthy, that will never happen. So having a realistic goal, small goals to get you to your end one, that is unrealistic in a way, that is achievable. If you work hard, you will get there, then that's what it should be.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Blooming, for weight loss and stuff, you're looking at like £2 a week, really, aren't you?
It depends on the person.
It depends on the person. It depends where they're starting.
And if we've got the weight to lose.
And it depends on them, and it does depend on the parent. Like I've had clients that have worked their absolute hardest. 1 month they lost just shy of a stone. The next month they lost more than a stone. So it depends on how they work. It depends on what they're eating. That's the goal of it all. If you want to really work hard in the kitchen. What happens in the gym?
Just complements it.
It complements it, and that's the whole. And that's the God's honest truth. If you get your food right, you can have whatever shape, size, body you want. That simple.
Steady away.
Yeah.
Steady away. So quick one to finish with, lads. What's your goal for this week? What's your goal for this week? We've been talking about goals. So Jim, go on. What's your goal? What are you going to do this week?
Is to set up my big camp for starting from Monday, and it's got to be a realistic one for myself, and not just for myself. My son, who's 15, coming up 16, he set target, wants to lift the 75 kilogram atlas stone. So over the next 6 weeks, we'll be training my personal training, and his target for the will be the 75 kilogram. For me, maybe if we'll add out the stones, I'll probably want to return 10.
Yeah.
But realistically, for me, it's just the training, get back into it, keeping active, slowly but surely getting more confident with my technique and strength, so that when the time comes, I'm ready to throw.
Steady away. Mark, what's the head goal this week?
I'm just going to concentrate on perfecting my strap. I'm going to go about at a minimum 230 this week. Next week, sorry. I've already hit my goal this week, 200. So I'm going to go the leg press, put 500 on that today, and then I want to see what I get. Hopefully, smash 10 reps.
Yes, mate. Yes. My goal is to get mentally prepared for the absolute grilling I'm going to get in the gym. That's my goal.
Make sure you do.
Mentally prepared, because I really need to. It's been a long time.
You'll be fine.
But yeah, guys, it's been a pleasure. Same time next week. And for everyone watching, make sure you are subscribing and clicking that bell if you haven't already done it. If you have, then thank you. It makes a heck of a difference. And if you want to tell us about how you feel about this video or any topics you want to talk about in the future, pop it in the comments below. And yeah, we'll talk about whatever you want. To be fair, we're here for a chat. And yeah, make sure you like and share and do all that good stuff. So it makes it helps us make more videos like this. But yeah, for this week, guys, thank you very much. I've been Nathan. We've had Mark, and we've had Jim, and we'll see you next week. Thank you. Ciao.
See you later.
See you later.